Hare Krishna. So, Krishna has spoken a very, very important verse, which is the answer to the last question of Arjuna. That how can a person know you at the time of death, the person who is self-controlled practicing devotional service? And in shloka number 5, Krishna made it very clear that one who remembers me at the time of death, smaran, one who remembers me at the time of death, that person will attain my nature. Now here is a question. What about those people who are not remembering Krishna at the time of death but remembering something else? What will happen to them? Which state will they attain? So this question is answered now in shloka number 6. Very important shloka. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. Krishna is saying here, yam yam vapi smaran, whatever state of being one remembers, bhavam tyajatante kalevaram, when he quits his body, O Kaunteya, tam tam eva iti sada tad bhava bhavitah, that state he will attain without fail. So basically Krishna is saying, whatever you remember at the time of death, that's what you will become in the next life. That's what is the state that you will attain. So a very important shloka again to meditate on. Because these shlokas are actually reminders to all of us, all the sadhakas who are practicing devotional service. What are the things that I'm doing in my day-to-day life, and what are the impressions that I'm getting on my mind? To what extent? What is the proportion of impressions of devotion, that is the devotional service, various activities connected to bhakti, and the activities which are not connected to bhakti? So these are some of the self-introspective topics that we need to always self-introspect and try to find out what is our current situation. So here, the example of Bharat Maharaj is given. So what happened in the life of Bharat Maharaj was, Bharat Maharaj was a very, very great king. He left his kingdom, he went to the forest and he started practicing devotional service. But then one fine day, in front of him, a deer, a pregnant deer, was drinking water, heard the roaring sound of lion, and she jumped, she leaped across the river. And in that fear, what happened? She gave birth to a baby deer. And she died on the other side. Now that baby deer is just flowing in the water. Maharaj Bharat, out of compassion, he took the baby deer, and he started taking care of the deer. Now just imagine, a person who has left the entire kingdom, beautiful wife, all the wonderful kids and the elephants and the horses and all the treasury of the kingdom, everything he has left, and he has come to the forest, and just imagine now he has got attached to an animal. To such an extent that his full consciousness would be absorbed thinking about that baby deer. What is she doing? Did she have the food properly? Is she safe? Is she protected? Where has she gone? Oh, I'm not able to see. So all these thoughts while doing devotional service. Completely absorbed. Not in the thoughts of Krishna, but now in the thoughts of deer. So what happened? At the time of death, his meditation was so intense on this animal, deer, that he remembered the baby deer at the last moment, and guess what? He became the deer in the next life. So in this way we understand that whatever we remember at the time of death, that's what we will attain in the next life. So deer is still okay. Nowadays people have dogs at home. Full time playing with the dog, taking care of the dog. Just imagine, at the time of death a person remembers the dog. What will happen? Next life, the person will get the body of a dog and maybe another name called Tommy or whatever. So this point is very important to understand, that what are we getting attached to? What is our consciousness absorbed in? This is a very, very important thing to meditate on. We don't know about what materialists will do, but at least for devotees, we have to be very, very alert. What am I getting attached to? What am I getting absorbed in? If I'm getting absorbed in something which is not Krishna conscious, better to remove all that from life. And try to inculcate more and more things which actually helps us to absorb our thoughts in Krishna consciousness. So here it is given that of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. So how will we understand which thought we will get at the time of death? Now see, entire life we have been doing various activities. And it's almost like we are clicking photos. Very, very high quality HD photos. So we are clicking those photos, and where are these photos stored? They are stored in the memory, in the mind. These are called as samskara, the impressions. And throughout the life we are doing this. At the time of death, what happens is, and the entire the photos which are there, a slideshow will happen, and we'll keep seeing one after another. It's a great speed, these photos will keep moving. And there will be one photo on which we will leave our last breath. That photo is going to decide that what sort of body I'm going to get next life. So we understood very clearly, if we remember Krishna, we will attain the nature of that of Krishna. We'll come back to Godhead. So now the question is, how can we get the photo of Krishna or something connected to devotional service? Very simple, probability. Maximum number of activities that we're doing, the probability of that particular activity to come in the photo is more simple. So this point is very, very important to understand. Maximum number of times the activity is done, devotional activity is done, the probability will be greater of getting Krishna's image or images connected to devotional service at the time of death. So we have to meditate on or self-introspect that what are the activities that am I doing in 24 hours a day. So in 24 hours, how many hours I'm actually investing in Krishna consciousness, and how many hours I'm actually investing in doing other activities which are not Krishna conscious. So here a solution is given that if in one's present life one lives in mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, that is spiritual, not material. So if we are investing a lot of time in Krishna consciousness, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, distributing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam to others, glorifying Krishna, preaching about Krishna to others, doing kirtan, doing deity worship, honoring only prasadam, associating with more devotees more often. So all these different activities. Oh, by the way, going to some dhams like Vrindavan, Mathura, Mayapur, Navadvip, Jagannath Puri, all these wonderful places which are there. So if we do these more often, what happens? Those impressions will be more, and the probability of these impressions appearing at the time of death will be more. Obviously all this is logical, but then if we are sincere and serious in our practice, Krishna will make sure that the last image that we see will be of his own, that is Lord Krishna's. So from our side, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to endeavor. We are supposed to endeavor very, very sincerely and very seriously on this path of Krishna consciousness. We cannot be duplicit here. We cannot cheat. Whom can we cheat here? If we try to cheat, we are just cheating ourselves. So how much sincere are we will actually decide that at the time of death, will we remember Krishna or will we remember someone else? So here the last line says, therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. So if you are really interested to come back to Godhead, then more number of devotional activities should be done in day-to-day life. So in this way, Krishna has made it very clear. Someone remembers me, will attain my nature. Someone remembers something else, will attain the state of being of that particular thing. So in this way, it's very clear now that the entire life is a preparation and finally the death is an examination, and only two options are there. Did you remember Krishna or not? These are the two options. And if we chose the first option, if we remember Krishna, we pass the exam, we go back to Godhead. If we choose the second option of not remembering Krishna and remembering something else, then we have successfully failed the exam and we will be there in this material world forever. So now Arjuna is hearing all this. Arjuna is very happy. Arjuna is thinking, oh, it's all about remembering you. Oh, that's very nice. Chalo, I am freed from the ghastly warfare then. But then Krishna is going to put a googly here. So let's see that in the next shloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.